What's up, guys? Simone Fan 101 here, and this is my Clash of Champions review. Well, I don't want to waste any time, so let's get it right into it. Before we started the show, Nia Jax destroyed Alicia Fox in the pre-show, just like she should. So kudos there to Nia Jax. But the first official match of the night was the New Day defending the WWE Tag Team titles against Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. Now, first of all, in the 6.5 minutes they had, this was a fun match they had. It was fast-paced action, a lot of it. Anderson and Gallows actually got a lot of offense. I predicted that they were gonna win, but apparently I was wrong. New Day won after Gallows and Anderson had New Day on the ropes and Xavier Woods hit Carl Anderson with Francesca the trombone. New Day hit the finish for the win, and retaining the titles is the New Day. Now, as of recording this, New Day is going to defend the tag team titles again tonight against Gallows and Anderson on Raw. Now, honestly, considering the finish last night, I don't know whether or not Gallows and Anderson will win. And keep in mind, I'm probably going to be uploading this video after Raw comes on tonight, so give me the benefit of the doubt on that one. The nieces. Anyway, this was still a good match to watch. It was still fun to watch. It was still high octane, just matches or fast paced action. I mean, I'm just sad that Gallows and Anderson they need a win. They need to win the titles badly, or else they're actually gonna fall apart and they're gonna become jobbers to the stars, and they shouldn't be jobbers to the stars, especially after their run in New Japan. Next, we had T.J. Perkins defending his TNA. It's definitely not the TNA X Division title. It's the new WWE Cruiserweight Championship. The second generation of Cruiserweights is here. And he defended the title against Brian Kendrick. Now, some people have said this match is not so good. Some people have said the match is good. I'm on the side that thinks the match is good. This was a slower paced match. I did feel, though, that this match was off. This match did feel off to me a little bit, but I did feel it was at least a good match. They need to really get this cruiserweight division over. They just can't have them in there and have matches. Build a story. And I've heard rumors that Vince McMahon or some people in the back say, like, you gotta make these cruiserweight matches slower. You gotta build stories, and it's like they already did that with the Cruiserweight Classic, and it was fast-paced action the whole time. So fuck you and your you gotta slow it down nonsense. If that is true. If it is, it's bullshit. But the match was still good. I just didn't think it was as awesome as it could have been, considering the great matches T.J. Perkins and Brian Kendrick had in the Cruiserweight Classic. Perkins did win. He won with the knee bar after the fireman's carry Pele kick. Until he comes up with a name for that move, I'm calling it fireman's carry Pele kick. After the match, Kendrick went to give T.J. Perkins a hug and respect, and then headbutted him right in the head. So just basically to nail in who's the heel in this case, as if it wasn't already obvious. I will say I did miss T.J. Perkins' entrance was good, although I missed the music he used in the Cruiserweight Classic. That music was really awesome. Next, we had the best match of the night: Cesaro versus Sheamus in the best of 7 series. So match 7, this was a great match, a complete brawl by these guys. Sheamus and Cesaro both pulled off a move each that I never saw from them before. Sheamus did he ran to like the corner and did like a kick or something, but also, kind of slithered his way over the rope while doing it. It was really cool looking. And Cesaro, while severely slowed down, of course he's a lot bigger, he pulled off a 619 right out of Rey Mysterio's playbook, which I found both hilarious and awesome. The scary moment of the match came in when Cesaro did a suicide dive through the ropes and landed right on the top of his fucking head. First of all, I thought he was gonna do, because he usually did dives over the ropes. At least he's done that before. But this was just reckless, and I feared for Cesaro big time. But thankfully he was okay. Maybe he's not now, but from how he acted in the match, and he seemed very okay. The finish came when both men were on the outside, and Cesaro clotheslined Sheamus over the barricade through the crowd after Sheamus had just hit the ring post outside. So, and then they said Sheamus. Sheamus. Okay, it's Cesaro and Sheamus. Sheamus. Oh god. What the hell's wrong with me? Anyways, they went over the barricade. The doctor said that Sheamus and Cesaro were unable to compete, even though Cesaro went back in the ring. So basically, a best of 7 series ended on 50-50 booking. What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? That is bullshit. It's not who won. It's that bothered me. Although I really wanted Cesaro to win. It's the way they ended it. Now, I've heard several ideas popped around, one of them being that Cesaro and Sheamus is going to be a tag team. Look, I'm not completely against the idea of them teaming together, but it's, again, like this match ended up being, it's a 50-50 kind of deal. On one hand, it'll do great for Sheamus, because Sheamus has done absolutely nothing since losing the Universal Championship to Roman Reigns. The League of Nations was a league of failure. He's done nothing since the League of Nations. God, it was just horrible. It's been horrible since Sheamus this year. Other than January when he was in the Final Four of the Royal Rumble, the guy's done nothing. So, in this case, it's like, okay, well, maybe we can make something out of this guy in a tag team. That would work. Sheamus hasn't really been in a tag team, not counting the League of Assholes. But on the other hand, Cesaro doesn't need to be in another tag team. In Ring of Honor, I know this probably doesn't count, but in Ring of Honor, he was a tag team for many years with Chris Hero as part of the Heroes of Wrestling. WWE, he was in a tag team with Jack Swagger, and he was also in a tag team, albeit awesome one, with Tyson Kidd. And so it's just why would he be in another tag team if the idea was to give him somewhat of a singles push? They said that whoever won the best of 7 series would get a title shot. We don't know what that meant, and we probably never will, unless it's a tag team title shot. If Sheamus does plan on turning face and Gallows and Anderson win the title tonight, well, we know where it's going next. So, shitty finish aside, and the 50-50 booking in a best of 7 series I found was completely retarded. But shitty finish aside, this was the best match of the night, bar none. Next match, we had a pretty good match with Chris Jericho and Sami Zayn. A pretty good match here. This was slower than the other matches. Jericho's a lot slower, but keep in mind he's also 45 years old, and not every match he's going to have is going to be a fast-paced action fest. He can only do that with certain guys, and only when those certain guys are fast-pacers, and he's more of the slow-paced kind of guy. He needs to be. He's not at that age where he can do that anymore. That aside, it was still a pretty good match. Chris Jericho did beat Sami Zayn. At first, I was like, I was a little bit iffy towards it. Like, why would they have Jericho beat Zayn? But at the same time, if the idea, and the original plan was to have Balor face Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho at Hell in a Cell in a triple threat match for the Universal title. If they're sticking to that idea and just replacing Fowler with Rollins and having Owens as the champion, it could work. I mean, if the idea is to give him a title shot in the future, you gotta have him win a big match. This was somewhat of a big match. Not like big, but it was a big match. Jericho won after he, I guess Zayn was supposed to be like, being like all passionate, but not really aware of his surroundings. And Jericho hit him with the code breaker and 1, 2, 3. Next match, we had a pretty good match with Charlotte defending the women's championship, the Raw Women's Championship against Sasha Banks and Bayley. Now, this was a pretty good match. However, this match could have been a lot better if it wasn't for one fucking thing that I hated. Constant interference from Dana Brooke. Look, I understand she's a heel and everything. She's supposed to be Charlotte's protege. But the fact is that when you have too much interference in a match, it kills the match. It kills the match dead. It didn't exactly kill the match here, but what it did, it kind of stopped it from being a lot better than it could have been. It was just that part I didn't like, and the fact that Dana Brooke sucks made it even worse. But other than that, sorry for that. Other than that, this was still a pretty good match. Charlotte retained the title. She's probably if the idea, I would probably have Charlotte lose it to Sasha Banks at Survivor Series, because I don't see her losing it at Hell in a Cell. I see her losing at Survivor Series. Sasha wins it and then holds the title until WrestleMania 33. The next match we had Rusev defending the United States Championship against Roman Reigns. I gotta say, other than the pre-show, this was the worst match of the night. It wasn't bad, but my problem is that it was too boring at times. There was too many rest holds, and it was just them punching each other. They did some cool moves on each other, and close to the end, it started to pick up. But it's almost one of those things where right when it starts to pick up, it ends. I hated that. This was still okay, but this was like mediocre at best. Roman Reigns beat Rusev for the U.S. title, so they're probably gonna have a rematch at Hell in a Cell, and maybe another one at Survivor Series, depending on how the feud goes. I have a couple questions. One, does this end Rusev's push, or does he move on to some other feud that will actually make him mean something? And two, what does this mean for Roman Reigns in the United States, in the mid-card, basically? I mean, knowing Roman Reigns' spot on the card is probably going to be similar to John Cena when he did the U.S. Open Challenge thing. I don't see Roman Reigns doing the U.S. Open Challenge thing, especially since the roster was pretty much cut in half, or pretty close to it. So no Bray Wyatt, no Randy Orton, no Kane. Thank God Roman Reigns versus Kane is not a thing. So none of that shit. But I wonder just who's gonna be his next opponent is Roman. It's gotta be another heel unless they're gonna do a face versus face match with Sami Zayn at some point. But it could be Chris Jericho, maybe. But if he's gonna be slated to face Rollins and Owens for the Universal title, Jericho is out of the question. Trying to think of other guys. I can't think of anybody else. Sure, shit's not going to be Brock Lesnar. He's not going to go for the U.S. title. Not even if his life was at stake. God, not a lot of main eventers on Raw, is there? They got to rebuild the division. They need to rebuild the division. SmackDown, for instance, I can count on one hand who's at the top. Styles, Ambrose, Cena. Put Miz and Baron Corbin there, because at least they're top. They're Miz and Baron Corbin, Miz and Ziggler, because at least they're being prominently featured. But other than that, I don't know who's gonna face Styles next for the WWE title, if not Ambrose and Cena. Maybe Ziggler. I don't know. Um, but aside from that, back to the Clash of Champions. How am I talking about? But yeah, we need to, Roman Reigns needs more challengers. He can't just face Rusev forever. Next, we have Kevin Owens defending the Universal Championship against Seth Rollins. A lot of people are on the fence about this match. Some people didn't like it at all. Some people did like it. I'm one of those people who did like it. This was for me the second best match of the night. I thought it was very good. Or maybe not the second best match of the night. That might have to go to Jericho and Zayn. But this was still a very good match. My problem with the match though was that even though it went 25 minutes, it felt more like an 18-minute match, skipping all the boring parts. So several boring parts of this match happened. And keep in mind, I don't watch these shows live. I watch Clash of Champions about at least this match about an hour after it aired. So I had the opportunity to skip all the boring stuff. But when I went back and watched it full, I noticed I got bored in those boring parts. So that was a problem. But other than that, this was still a very good match. Jericho did come in and cause shenanigans, which somewhat lowered the match rating for me. But it was hilarious when after Owens won, and yes, Owens did retain the title. Stephanie McMahon came out with a referee, somewhat strategically depending on timing. Kevin Owens hit Rollins with a pop-up power bomb, and Rollins lost. Owens retained. And when they were up the ramp, and I found this hilarious, where very loudly Jericho screeched, and this was only like a couple seconds, but he loudly screeched, "We are the champions!" Like, we are the champions. It's like that was worth it. That was hilarious. But other than that, still very good match. Not the greatest match on the show. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what to call it, but Cesaro and Sheamus definitely stole the show. That was my Clash of Champions review. Overall, a good show, but God, this was not better than Backlash. Backlash was great for the booking of the women's and tag team title matches. The two great matches between Miz and Ziggler and Styles and Ambrose. The only black mark on the show was Bray Wyatt losing a fucking cane of all people. Didn't make any sense. But anyways, other than that, good show. Check it out. Not as good as Backlash. Didn't think it would be. But still, check it out. I'll see you later, guys. I haven't watched it yet, but I need to watch WCPW and Impact from this past Saturday and Thursday. And I'll be watching Raw tonight. This video will probably be up after I see Raw, hopefully tomorrow. So until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Peace.